Indiana Jones isn't the only name in the media spotlight this week. As we mentioned in Top Stories, Senator Ted Kennedy made headlines after being diagnosed with a malignant brain tumor. In this week's News in Context, we examine the life and work of this tireless public servant. And by examining, I mean, of course, comparing him to the last 4 Indiana Jones movies. Edward Moore Kennedy was born on February 22nd, 1932. His birth was reminiscent of Indy getting chased out of a Peruvian temple by a giant rolling boulder in the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark, as baby Ted exited Rose Kennedy's vagina to the roar of a large and potentially dangerous clan. In this case, it was the Kennedy and Fitzgerald families and not the savage poison dart shooting Jovitos people. The Kennedys had no darts. In a move reminiscent of Rene Belloc's triumphant display of the golden idol taken from Indiana Jones, Joe Kennedy held aloft the final member of his family, much to the relief of Rose's exhausted vagina. Kennedy's first foray into politics came in 1962 when he campaigned for his brother Jack's seat on the Massachusetts Senate against Edward McCormick. McCormick famously said, "Teddy, if your name was Edward Moore instead of Edward Moore Kennedy, your candidacy would be a farce." This attack has an almost identical parallel in the story of Indiana Jones, who faced a similar verbal attack when Molaram, high priest and leader of the Thuggee, proclaimed, "Kali Ma Shakti Day." It should be noted that unlike Molaram, McCormick only planned to metaphorically remove and incinerate his opponent's heart. And all was going well for Kennedy until he hit a bump in the road in 1969, literally, causing him to lose control of his car and drive off a bridge into the channel between Chappaquiddick Island and Martha's Vineyard, leading to the drowning death of passenger Mary Jo Kopechne. While Indiana Jones did not actually drown the beautiful and mysterious Dr. Elsa Snyder in the third Indy, he did flounder around like Ted while Elsa fell into a giant Jesus-related fissure. All of this takes us to 2008, where both Ted and Indy look to be at the end of their storied journeys. For Ted, a brain tumor. For Indy, a plot so insultingly bewildering as to make viewers mad at not only Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, but fedoras, bullwhips, and Arks of the Covenant as well. In both cases, we are left to dream of better ends for these honored personalities. Still, we can look back and remember the good times, celebrating 2 men who knew that when it came to a sword fight, you better bring a gun. Ted and Indy, this one is for you.